Hades 11. Do children who die too early grow up in the passage of death? The passage of death, which is also called in Hebrew Sheol or in Greek Hades, it is also referred to as limbo, or which St. Augustine spoke. Where are the children? This is a difficult question, and we must recognize that the Church, which has reflected into this problem concerning children, has so many died without baptism and others with baptism, that the Church has no answer. Pope Benedict XVI asked in the 20th century, I believe in 1998, had a look at this question, or 2008, that the Church looked at this question and has concluded that we find an answer solution. And the wise man of the International Theological Commission said, we must find a solution which takes account all of the dogmas, namely that after death, any man who is not in the state of grace is immediately separated from God, while on the other hand, we must uphold what says the Second Vatican Council, that God will offer salvation to every man. St. Augustine at the time had thought that these children who died without baptism were to remain perpetually in limbo. This is to stay in the passage between this world and the next without suffering, because it had been too late. Apparently, his theory is not valid, since God must offer salvation to every man. So what is the simplest of theories? Well, it is simply this: in the passage of the death, which can also be a state, the children remain there, and while there they are taken by the end by inhabitants of the heavens, who will raise them, because a little baby can only grow up when confronted with adults. Otherwise, they will remain a little baby forever. They will grow in their psyche, they will develop their minds. So there is a place where this happens, where these children can play, since they have a psyche, and then can learn to choose. And one day, when readily prepared, having reached the age of reason, they will be made to choose for Christ. So love of God and love of neighbor pushed to the point of forgetting themselves, and Lucifer, where the love of self has been pushed to contempt for God and neighbor. Why do they have to be able to choose between God and Lucifer eventually? Because, like for us, they should not be forced into one option, that of the love of God. If they become free beings, then they must be given the opportunity of an alternative choice, where they reject this God who offers them the beatific vision. Therefore, it seems to be that in this passage that is dead, this provisional passage is not this eternal limbo where children grow up and choose. This obviously explains that they too, after death, have a choice. So after this limbo, if any of them are without grace, it is because they freely refused it, and they go to hell by their own free will. Thus, it is completely in accordance with all the dogmatics of the Church, but it must yet be recognized, as this is only at the research phase of the current theologians. It is certainly not professed faith yet. Furthermore, there may be yet another solution to be found, which the theologians are still looking for.